Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing, everybody? Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend. I know I definitely spend my time very wisely and had a very relaxing time where now I feel completely rejuvenated and ready to go and tackle on this week with such exciting force. But may I say that it is a little bit disappointing to see what's been happening at the box office. There was a popular ghoul from the 1980s that decided to go and re-emerge into theaters, but sadly, it looks like it turns out to be a flop in every way. Even if this 1980s ghoul would go and wreak havoc with all of his popular monsters like he did back in those days. I guess it really goes to show that nobody wants to go and watch a movie about Ronald Reagan, and instead, everybody would rather go see Beetlejuice. But anyways, back to this episode. What we have here, well, let's just say that it's a bit of a deja vu, per se. We got a whole bunch of trailers that we are going to be watching, including one that is actually video game based on a very popular gaming franchise. And then we got a couple of other news that we shall be looking into. But still though, even though we're going to be repeating a little bit of the same format as last week, we are still definitely going to have a great time. So, with that said, now I would like to go onto the chat wall and I'd like to ask you all, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Are you ready? Well, let's see here. Somebody trying to summon Beetlejuice, but I don't think that's going to work in this case. Trust me, there will be chaos, but not the Tim Burton kind of chaos. Otherwise, we would have started this with some Danny Elfman music, you know, the kind that's like... But anyways, I see that everybody here is all prepared. Everybody is ready. That is wonderful to see. And now with that said, it is now time that we shall go and get things started. And with our first... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, before we do get things started, I just want to give a shout out to Kilua Morales for becoming the new fish of this episode. So thank you so much. But anyways, back to what I was saying. On our first story, I promise I am not going to do like last time where I was teasing you all with the Sonic 3 trailer. You know, I would just go and play around with showing you trailer after trailer, and then suddenly we would go with Sonic. But no, this time around, I promise that we are going to start things off with the video game-based movie, or at least the teaser trailer of it, especially when many people have been talking about this one. However, maybe it's not for the same reasons as to Sonic 3. So, without further ado, let us go and begin with our first story, as we are going to be checking out the teaser trailer for the upcoming blockbuster, Minecraft the Movie. Or a Minecraft movie, that's the actual title. And that was the teaser trailer to a Minecraft movie, to which it will be coming out later next year on April 4th. Now, before I go into my thoughts about this teaser trailer over here, I just want to go and begin this by saying something that I'm sure it might shock some people, because especially with the size of Minecraft that it is right now, considering that it is one of the biggest video game... Oh, we got a new fish. Turns out to be Juju. Oh, thank you, J Monty, for that gifted sub. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. considering that Minecraft is one of the biggest video games of all time, especially that it is still massive in this day and age, I gotta say that, honestly, I've never played Minecraft in my life. It was just something that never really interested me. I was never much of a PC gamer, especially during the time when its popularity really peaked. So, I do a little bit of PC gaming nowadays, but I don't know. There was just I never really got into the whole trend of Minecraft. I've never played any of the games. I didn't really have much interest in watching any of the YouTubers play around with Minecraft and stuff like that. You know, it's not that I have anything against the game other than the creator being a little bit psychotic and too much of a weirdo even for gamers. But other than that, though, I don't know. I just never really cared much for Minecraft. I never got into it, and it's just, it's just meh. And honestly, I was probably one of the few people on this earth that I remember when Steve was announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I looked at the announcement and I was like, okay, I guess, like, whatever. I wasn't as, like, hyped up as many others were during that announcement. Even when I would play Smash Ultimate and I would try to play as Steve, like, even the controls, I just feel like it's just completely confusing because a lot of it requires some knowledge on Minecraft itself. And if you don't know that game, then you wouldn't really know how to play as Steve. But then again, some people would go and counter-argue with that, and, like, it would just require, like, practice and practice and practice with the character until you know what you're doing. But the point that I'm making here is that, honestly, I'm not really that familiar with Minecraft because I've never played Minecraft. And honestly, I could tell you right now, from watching this teaser trailer, I don't think this is honestly something that's going to convince me to actually play Minecraft. In fact, this is a lot more like something that would repel me from watching Minecraft. It's kind of doing the opposite of what it's intending to do, especially for newcomers. It reminds me a bit of that Ratchet and Clank movie. That film was just so terrible that it honestly turned me off from Ratchet and Clank. Now, nowadays, nowadays I actually do know better. I have actually played the original Ratchet and Clank game, and that was actually a lot of fun. Definitely far more enjoyable than the movie itself. But still, though, that movie was just outright terrible. And I'm honestly getting the exact same vibes that I am getting in here. Like, based on the story with what they're presenting, a lot of it feels very similar to something like Jumanji. And when I say Jumanji, by the way, I don't mean like any of the new movies, considering that one of the actors in this is in the new Jumanji movies. I mean more like the OG Jumanji, where you would get some characters where they're somehow transported onto this new world, and then you got Jack Black playing as the Robin Williams type character, or at least that's kind of like the idea that I'm kind of getting from this teaser trailer based on what it's kind of telling me. And by the way, just like Jumanji, I wouldn't be surprised if they would go back into the real world and suddenly, like, the Minecraft characters would suddenly go and come back. But the one thing that I do know when it comes to Minecraft is that it has a very distinct and now very iconic style. The how can I put this? It's basically the very blocky type world, almost like Legos in a way, but with pixelated cubes in order to go and, like, fully create this entire world. Like, that's where it got its iconography and its charm. It's very much the closest thing you would have to bringing Legos onto a video game without actually bringing Legos onto a video game. And and I see Omid is a new fish this time. Thank you so much for the sub right there. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. It has a very distinct style, and the way they would try to translate that onto the big screen, not appealing, honestly. In fact, everybody at this point remembers very well this guy here. The frickin' square sheep that is now digitally enhanced to look realistic. Like, you got the real, like the realism of like the wool, the little bits of fur, the teeth, just everything. Now it's a combination of a real sheep and a Minecraft sheep. And everybody is looking at this thing going, what the fridge is this thing? What the fridge is this absolute monstrosity? In fact, you probably have heard about this particular comparison where just by looking at this sheep alone, it reminds people of this monstrosity.
Meow?
In fact, just by looking at this, just by revisiting the proto-Sonic the Hedgehog, the ugly Sonic that people know nowadays, honestly, I don't see much of a difference right over here. It's kind of, it's kind of like the sheep and the ugly Sonic is kind of reacting to each other based on their own godforsaken designs. Like, honestly, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It's like, this is kind of like my impression when seeing this sheep, or even like right at the end when you see this godforsaken llama right over here, like this ugly monstrosity. And this doesn't even count like even the pigs that we got here, or even like the floating jellyfish guys that we have. And honestly, I just want to also add that like we haven't seen any of the other more iconic elements that are within this. Like, we haven't seen any other Minecraft people other than Jack Black playing as Steve. But then, like, we also got, like, we do see these ugly pigs that they look like they come from an early version of a Legend of Zelda game. They don't look like something out of Minecraft. They look something like, this reminds me of like the NES Zelda games. Like, these are moblins, they're Ganondorf's minions. But on top of that, we don't see any of the creepers yet. And honestly, if this is where we're going to see in the Minecraft world, I don't know if I'm ready to go and see those. And by the way, I do see some people are actually correcting me in terms of the names. Apparently, the floating jellyfish guys are called ghasts, and the moblin-looking dudes are actually piglins. Okay, thank you for the correction. At least we do have some people in the chat that do have much more knowledge on this than I do, so good to know on that. But anyways, back to what I was talking about here. Yeah, it's just, I see these designs and they are not attractive. They remind me so much of that trend that people would do about a decade ago, like somewhere around the 2010s, when people want to make their own realistic Minecraft, and they would go and post it all around social media by saying like, yo, check it out, this is what happens if Minecraft is in HD, or like they would show something else. And they would they would even show like this point, like, this is what happens if Minecraft is in the is used with the Unreal Engine. Like, you probably have seen some of those from time to time where people want to try to put in their own spin of trying to make highly detailed graphics and put that onto Minecraft. Or they would go and like even take some of the characters and like they would even create something like this, they would create like this monstrosity of a pink sheep, and they would try to make it like either HD or realistic or anything like that. There's just something about this trailer in particular that I just feel like it is just 10 years too late. And nowadays, people don't want crap like this. They want to see literally the game itself be translated onto the big screen. Something that actually feels more familiar. Something more akin to something like Five Nights at Freddy's, where, yeah, I agree, the movie is just downright garbage, but at least it looks exactly like the game. Like, you're taking the game and you're putting it in the environment of a movie where the animatronics look exactly like the animatronics from the games, and even the pizzeria look exactly like the pizzeria. But this, on the other hand, I wouldn't think so. But there's also another thing that I want to mention that is very interesting to go and note, and that is the ratio right over here, especially when you see the official Warner Brothers video of the teaser trailer, and that already, like, I don't think it has been a week as I am recording this, and it has so far gotten 1.4 million dislikes in comparison to its over 600,000 likes. And honestly, that really does say a lot in terms of how many people hate this trailer in particular. Like, so far, this has been getting so much more hate than the Snow White remake. Now, say what you will about that one, and I do agree, it doesn't really look good, and I am not excited for the Snow White remake whatsoever. And I know that just recently, there have been some reports that came out saying that the teaser for the Snow White remake did get over 1 million dislikes. But it's interesting to note that it took Snow White a while in order to get over 1 million dislikes on its teaser trailer. Like, in fact, it's been like almost a month now, or it's been about a month since it was first revealed at D23. So it pretty much means that it took Snow White a few weeks for its teaser trailer to get over 1 million dislikes. With Minecraft, on the other hand, it got it in just a matter of days. So you could already tell that the response is very strong and people immediately want to go and jump into this, saying that they do not approve with how this looks whatsoever, or especially with how they are depicting the world of Minecraft like this. And it's honestly very shocking that it would come out as awkward looking as it does, because keep in mind, this is from both Warner Brothers and Legendary. Technically, these are from the same people that brought us Detective Pikachu. And that movie actually looks great. I think they actually did a great job in terms of bringing Pokemon onto the big screen, or more specifically, bringing in a Hollywood-style live-action feature. Those visuals are debatably some of the best parts of that movie. This, however, it's just, it doesn't look great, honestly. Like, the visuals, they look like part of the biggest downside. And this is not even to mention about having Jack Black here, where at least, yeah, they didn't make Steve look like some CG monstrosity, but then again, it just looks like Jack Black in a blue shirt. Like, that's it. Like, they're really leaning in on just the fact that they got this particular actor to play as Steve, and that's it. Now, I'm just gonna say now, though, that even though the backlash and the negative reception has been so far very strong with this teaser trailer, I can see how there is probably a chance that this could be successful when it does come out this April. At best, this could be a case like Five Nights at Freddy's, where the movie itself could be absolute garbage, and it could be one of the worst movies of the year, but it's not going to be up to the adult fans or the people who are not interested in Minecraft that would determine if it would be a flop or a hit. It would be the kids. And I can imagine there could be a case where the kids are going to enjoy it regardless, like regardless of what the internet says or regardless of what non-Minecraft fans say. They're going to go and eat it up because it's a Minecraft movie that's on the big screen. And even with Jack Black, they can pretty much say that, hey, look, Bowser from the Super Mario movie is now playing as Steve. Jack Black really is the video game boy. You know, I can imagine it could have that similar type of reaction to Five Nights at Freddy's. But is that actually going to happen? Honestly, we'll have to wait and see. And I mean, I could totally be wrong on that theory. But again, that's only the best case scenario if that would occur. But I gotta say, overall, as someone who is not familiar with Minecraft whatsoever, I look at this teaser trailer and it does not interest me whatsoever to go and check this out. And again, I'm not in the mood to go and like play Minecraft anytime soon, and I don't think this trailer in particular is making me interested to go and check it out. If they want to try to win me over, then it would have to really try hard to try to convince me that it is worthwhile, even for fans and non-fans. So I just want to go and state right now, if you are interested or curious to go and check out a Minecraft movie, then keep in mind that it will be coming out on April 4th next year. All right, so with that said now, I would like to pass this on to the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what is your opinion on the teaser trailer of a Minecraft movie? Are you guys interested in checking it out? Are you actually hyped up for it? Are you guys more disgusted and you hate the teaser trailer? And especially if you are a Minecraft fan, I would love to know what you think. And also, might as well go onto the poll right over here. And yes, I did double check. We can actually do polls this time. And, oh, hold on a sec. I just realized something. Just want to... Apparently, it just says that, on Twitch, it's like, oh, you got a reward. Okay, sure. I'll go and take it. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yes, we can do polls right now, and I'm going to ask you all, are you going to watch a Minecraft movie? So I'll just go and write down yes, and then I'll write down no, and we'll see what people have to say. All right, anyways, I almost forgot this is from the director of Napoleon Dynamite, hence the llama scene. When I went to see 95 Senses on the big screen for Oscar season with Jerusha Hess, her husband, Jared Hess, wasn't there. I asked her where he was. She said he was busy with this movie. I was like, oh yeah, he's doing this movie. I wonder what's it going to look like. Fast forwarding to now, it was like, that sheep is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. And I mean, no disrespect to the Hesses, and I've enjoyed some of their works. Like, I actually did like Napoleon Dynamite, and I honestly loved 95 Senses. I personally think that should have won the Oscar for Best Animated Short this year. But honestly, it makes a lot of sense now if you tell me that this is from the same people that did Thelma the Unicorn. Okay, now things are pretty clear. Anyways, as a die-hard Minecraft fan, I am way too sober for this. Don't get me wrong, the backgrounds of the film look spectacular, perfectly adapting the world of the games into a theatrical setting, but the way the live actors clash with the backgrounds just begs the question, why wasn't the whole thing animated from the get-go? I don't know, it's just bad marketing, but overall, I'm not sold. This might be redeemed if it has a Stampy cameo. That dude invented my childhood. I mean, we will have to wait and see, considering that I did hear that I think there's like one scene in the film, or during the time that they were filming it, they actually invited a whole bunch of Minecraft influencers, so there is a possibility that maybe people like Stampy could make a cameo, but we'll have to go and wait and see. And you do actually bring up a very good point. If there is a positive thing to go and say about this trailer, yeah, the backgrounds actually do look nice. This does look like a more cinematic version of Minecraft. So at least that's one thing they were able to get it right. It's just that when you add in the actors to the mix, and then when you add in this monstrosity into the mix, yeah, that's when things become awkward really quick. Anyways, my sister plays a lot of Minecraft. I don't know if she's seen this trailer, but I'm sure that this trailer wouldn't pique her interest whatsoever. But like you said, Matt, it would be the kids who are the target audience and most likely to determine its level of success. And the quality of the movie itself could go either way. Yeah, and so far, the quality is not in its favor, I'm just saying. Let's see now. I will admit I've never really played Minecraft myself, and this trailer didn't really impress me. While I will admit the backgrounds look nice and stay true to the game, the creature do not translate well into the live action and the humans do not blend well into the world. So overall, I'm really not looking forward to this. Also, 2024 has not been a good year for Jack Black. Between this and the Borderlands movie and even the whole Tenacious D controversy, things have not been good for him. Oh yeah, no, it's especially the whole controversy with Tenacious D. I just want to go and state right now, I think Jack Black is possibly the only guy so far whose reputation has been critically damaged. I wouldn't say dead, but it has been critically damaged by political correctness. And it's to go and defend Donald Trump out of all things. Even if it was during the failed assassination attempt, still though, the fact that he would throw Kyle right under the bus just to go and try to say, oh, no, it's not polite to go and be mean to Donald Trump right now. Like, yeah, that is a bad move. That is a massive L that Jack has to go and carry with him at this point. And so far, the things that have been happening with his career so far, like the massive box office bomb of Borderlands, it has not been helping him whatsoever. All right, I think I'll read a few more because we don't have much time at this point before the next break comes. So let's see. Forgive me if this is too harsh, but I feel like the biggest mistake was making this a live-action movie. This looks close to Uncanny Valley, like trying to do something similar to Detective Pikachu without knowing what made that movie work. It would have been better if they did something similar to the Lego movie. It would have been more palatable. Oh yeah, honestly, I could imagine what you mean. Like, make something that is inspired by, like, those Lego-themed videos that you would find on the internet. You know, do like what the Lego movie did and make, like, this big homage to the classic, like, stop-motion Lego movies that people would go and make. And with this one, that's something that it really should have done. Make something that would pay homage to those fan-made Minecraft stories that they would go and upload onto YouTube. That would have been a much better direction instead of, well, what we got right over here. All right, I think I'll read one more comment. So, okay, yeah. I only have time for one, sorry. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, first of all, what did I just watch? Another Jumanji movie, but now with Minecraft? The CGI looks even realistic, especially the pink ugly sheep. It's like another ugly Sonic again. Speaking of that, I am disappointed that there is no Gangster's Paradise song in the teaser trailer. It's sad that WB rejected some potential animated projects like Batman Beyond, which was inspired by Spider-Verse, and instead they gave us Jack Kraft with ugly pink sheep. Oh boy, I feel like this is the Emoji Movie situation all over again. I know there might not be any confirmation, but I'm just saying, before any rumors would go and spread, Warner Brothers did not cancel Batman Beyond in order to go and make this. Just to be clear on that. I just want to go and make that statement before the internet would go crazy and start spreading out these kind of wackadoodle rumors all over again. But anyways, we're going to go and take our first break, and when we do come back, we got another trailer right now that, let's just say that it's about as scary as this sheep right over here, but this time, though, it is a lot more intentional, and instead of squares, we're going to see a lot of spirals, so stay tuned for that. By the way, before I go into the next segment, I just noticed that someone actually mentioned that, like, the nickname people have given to Jack Black in the Minecraft movie, Jack Kraft, some were a little bit disappointed and actually suggested something that I have to agree is a little bit better, that we could go and call him Jack Block. But either way, though, like, that definitely is a good one. But either way, I think it's safe to say that the teaser trailer that we just saw, it definitely made a lot of people go, oof. But anyways, moving on to the next segment that we have over here, we got another trailer to go and watch. Now, you probably have remembered sometime in the summer in which we have checked out a little clip from an upcoming anime called Uzumaki, based on the popular horror manga by Junji Ito that Adult Swim was going to release later on this year. Now, we only received, again, a little bit of a taste of what the horrors would be within the anime. And it didn't show us a whole lot, but it definitely supplied a lot of creepiness. But this time, however, we're going to see a lot more of it. Now, we're not going to get an entire taste. We're not going to get a full picture of what this is, considering that this is just a trailer. But now you will understand a lot more of the horrors of the kind of spirals that Junji Ito would go and present, rather it be in his popular manga or in this anime. So with that said, let us now go and check out the trailer for the upcoming horror anime on Adult Swim, Uzumaki.
Saturday, September 28th at 12:30 on Toonami. Next day on Max.
And that was the trailer of Uzumaki, to which it will be premiering on Adult Swim, or specifically on Toonami, on September 28th. Yes, considering that people have considered September to be Halloween Eve, and people are already trying to get ready to go and celebrate Halloween and stuff like that, especially now with Beetlejuice really kicking things off for this Halloween season this year, I might as well go and present to you a little treat, since we're already going to go and start Halloween, might as well go and recommend you some things to go and watch during the Halloween season, or really present you some real spookiness that is going on. And I gotta say that, my opinion on this is a little bit complex. There's a part of me that feels a little bit similar to how I feel when watching the trailer or the teaser of a Minecraft movie, but in this case, it's for the right reasons. Kind of like I got a similar reaction when I would see this pink sheep. It's a little bit of the same thing when I would see the girl right over here with the growing spiral that's on her head that's becoming bigger and bigger, and then suddenly just sucking up her eyeball, I feel like it's a little bit of the same thing. I look at these two things and I'm like, no. Like, honestly, no. Absolutely not. Except this case here, it's actually intentional. Wait, what? No, are you kidding? I'm sorry, I just need to go and stop this. Are you serious? Wait, hold on a sec. I just need to go and, need to double check on this. Wait. Did he seriously? Hold on a sec. I just want to double check. I just saw, people are mentioning this on the chat wall. Oh my god. Oh my god, he passed. Yo, it is real. Oh, schnut. Yo, okay, so this is breaking news, but James Earl Jones just passed away. Oh my god. Yo, that sucks. Oh, man. Okay, that's a real big one that we just lost, man. That is really unfortunate. Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna go and make a statement right over here. You know what? Originally, I had something planned for later at the end of this, but you know what? I'm going to go and try to switch things up. I'm going to do a last minute thing, but at the end, the final story, I'm going to go and actually talk about this. I had a plan for the grand finale of this, but you know what? I'm going to go and switch things up, and the grand finale will be about the passing of James Earl Jones. I'm making this decision right now. Oh my god, that is I'm honestly a little bit shocked that it just happened as we speak. That is really unfortunate. But anyways, okay, I'm going to go and focus back onto talking about the Uzumaki trailer. So we will save our thoughts onto that. So let's go and get back onto Uzumaki. Let's go and get that out of the way. Let's go and discuss about what we would see with this. So anyways, back onto Uzumaki. So far, yeah, so far, a lot of the imagery that they are presenting here, yeah, it is absolutely creepy, but honestly, it is creepy for all the right reasons. And not to mention, I'll just say right now, the animation, it really is, the animation that they just presented here, it is fantastic. I think it is great because it literally is taking the pages of Junji Ito's manga, and they would go and bring that to life. You know, they would go and what you would see in the manga, this kind of horrific imagery, it is exactly like what you would get in here. And even the stuff that they would go and show, they could be really beyond messed up. You got the centipede here going into someone's ear. There's a lot, and especially with how this trailer is constructed, it's the more you watch it, the freakier it gets. It just, it gets more and more frightening. You do see, the weird things regarding, the spirals and how, and you see, some of the little things that, even with the weather, how it can be messed up. And, sometimes you get a little hint of, some of the supernatural things, a minor spoiler alert. This guy right over here, let's just say that he is a more horrific version of that SpongeBob episode. You probably remember that Halloween episode? After the one we see where SpongeBob is he wants to be dressed up as a ghost with the help of Patrick and stuff like that. And then you get that other episode in which SpongeBob turns into a weresnail. Yeah. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if I didn't get this right in terms of what happens in the manga and probably in this anime, but this is the same thing right over here. What he's growing behind this, that's going to be a shell. So just to go and let you know. But like I said, you see how things are slowly but surely accumulating and piling up. You see the freakiness, and even we saw in the, we saw a little bit in the clip from before, the guy whose eyes would go and just keep on spinning in a disorganized way. And then you see the weather being messed up, even with some guy's face. And then there's even you get the girl whom her spiral becomes so big to the point that it sucks people in right now. Oh, and by the way, yeah, and some people are mentioning the episode, the SpongeBob episode I was mentioning before. It was called I Was a Teenage Gary. But back onto this, this freaky moment. By the way, just want to mention, just a quick reminder, by the way, the girl that has the growing spiral and is sucking in this guy into her body, she's going to be the one who is voiced by Christina V. And I know many of you have a little bit of a crush, or you would simp for Christina V, but watch this anime in the English dub, and that's really going to put you to the test. Do you think that she's going to be cute even during times like this? I'm just saying, would you still say would even during these kinds of moments? I don't know, that will definitely be put to the test right over there. But yeah, I just gotta say, so far with this anime, what they're presenting here, yeah, it does give you a lot more of an example of the freakiness that is in store with Uzumaki, whether it be with the weather, with the supernatural things happening to the people, or how some individuals have become so psychotic, especially with all these spirals and stuff like that. Honestly, they definitely nailed the creepiness, and I can imagine this will literally be taking the popular manga and it would turn into this absolute horror fest. And by the way, I see someone in the chat mention that apparently the official SpongeBob Twitter announced once posted him in a crossover with Uzumaki. Just want to go and double check if I can actually see that post, or if we can see the post, just to know what you're talking about. I guess they, oh yeah, that is definitely, okay, that is definitely a reference right over here. Oh yeah, oh boy, and this was, that's definitely a good find right over there. I didn't expect, people would go and find something this much sooner. So that should go and tell you the popularity of Uzumaki, when the official SpongeBob account would go and tell you something, would actually go as far and to legitimately make a reference to Uzumaki. And I gotta say, just by watching this image, honestly, it did honestly ruin a little bit of some scenes in Uzumaki, like in this, especially with this scene over here. Now I can imagine that the Christina V character is pretty much SpongeBob and this guy is Squidward. Like, all I can imagine right now is just, all I can hear is the Squidward scream. Like, you look at this clip, you see what's happening. That's all I can freaking imagine right now. But it still doesn't change that, what we are seeing here, it's still absolutely creepy. It's still absolutely freaky. And I'm just going to say right now, I feel like there is a very high probability that this series is going to turn out great. Fans of Junji Ito and the manga, they will definitely enjoy it. But if there is a chance that I will be watching it, I will be sure that it will be during daylight and it will be with the lights on. I'm not going to go and try to enhance the environment to go and watch this, because it already looks creepy enough as is. And I know people are going to accuse me of being a chicken, and to those people I say, just saying, folks. All right. So anyways, this is all to go and say that I think the trailer that they presented here of Uzumaki, it definitely is fantastic, really creepy, but it definitely hits the right notes, especially to go and set ourselves up for the holiday season, or not the holiday season, for Halloween season. So if you are interested in checking out Uzumaki, then keep in mind that it will be premiering on Toonami on September 28th. Alright, so with that said, now I would like to go onto the chat wall, and I like to ask you all, how do you all feel about the Uzumaki trailer? Are you guys interested in checking this one out? Are you a little too creeped out? And actually, I have a good question. You know what? Instead of the usual question that I'm going to go and regularly ask, like, are you going to watch it or not? I'm going to go and ask you. Yeah, and some people have actually mentioned to me, yes, the one that will be premiering on September 28th will be the Japanese sub, by the way. So that is important to go and note. But I'm going to go and write down on the poll. I got a creative question here. Which is scarier? Hold on. Just got to make sure that, what the fridge? Son of a fish, come on. There we go. Okay, which is scarier? Spirals or square? Or squares? Alright, that's gonna be the big question. Which are you more scared of now? Spirals or squares? Let's see what people will go and respond. Alright, so anyways, going into the chat wall, let's see what we got here. This trailer looks great, although the only issue I have is that I worry that this anime might be a shot-by-shot reenactment of the manga instead of being its own thing. Also, AniMat, I congrats your bravery for showing these clips without fear of being demonstrated. Or I think you mean demonetized. I think that's probably what you mean. Or maybe, like, that's just autocorrect doing its thing. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, why would I be feared of being demonstrated? But don't worry. I mean, even if I'm gonna go and put it up on YouTube, I don't think it's gonna be something where, I'll suddenly lose my monetization. Like, I'm not gonna show the trailer in its entirety, because I would be more worried about copyright more so than community guidelines. And I mean, not to mention that this trailer over here is already on YouTube as is. So if this trailer already is okay to be up on YouTube, then I think it's okay for me to go and actually talk about it. But anyways, let's go back over here. I'm really excited to see this anime since it looks like it's going to be absolutely faithful to the manga and how they animate the manga pages. I'm really glad they delayed it from its original release since they wanted to respect the manga properly and have it not feel rushed like a lot of Ito's other adaptations. I'm really hopeful that this series inspires a lot of animators to do horror movies in animation. Yeah, that would actually be awesome. But anyways, oh, that's okay. I've been needing a pair of yellow pants. I can't take credit of that. I just got it from Jay Monty. So all right. Congrats to Jay Monty for doing that joke. Anyways, that looked crazy, dude. The animation looked mental, and the atmosphere is as freaky as, well, a spiral. Since I always interpreted spirals as descents into the unknown, it'll be a great watch. But I have to say this. Sorry for that downer detour, folks. No. Honestly, dude, I know you're the one who actually broke the news on this podcast, but for real, I think it is definitely important to actually let us know. And trust me, I will be saving that for the grand finale because I think that really is something that needs to be talked about. Anyways, what else do we have here? What other comments would there be? Matt, remember the last episode where I said the evil eyes stare into your soul and stuff like that? Honestly, I don't think so. Well, I think this is the part where the eyeball gets sucked into the head. I think that takes care, takes the cake. Looks like something for Halloween, and that's saying something because that holiday, as well as your birthday and mine, are not too far behind. Exactly. And by the way, it looks like the result of the poll is official. Well, it looks like most people are definitely more scared of spirals than they are squares. Specifically, 81% of you who have voted said you are more freaked out by spirals, more so than the squares. Yeah, and then suddenly, it's kind of funny to mention because now this thing actually looks a lot more comforting than it used to be. Alright, anyways, what other comments would there be? Let's see now. Junji Ito is the Stephen King of Japanese horror manga. He takes something normal and harmless and perverts the heck out of it. It's the personification of psychological horror, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out, AniMat's. Oh, and also, if you love Perfect Blue, you're gonna love Uzumaki. By the way, you're short on Double Life. You just earned your black card. Yeah, I gotta say with Uzumaki, yeah, with Perfect Blue, actually, I love that anime. I think it's one of the best Japanese animated movies out there, like even on par with some of Hayao Miyazaki's works. But I gotta say, like that, that psychological horror I can handle. But when it comes to Uzumaki, however, with this thing, though, I don't know. This feels like next level crap right over here. This looks like something that, no, we will be sure you're gonna be messed up. And this is a series, by the way. Perfect Blue, at least that's just a movie. This is a series in which you're gonna see episode after episode after episode of just sheer, horrific madness right over there. Alright, anyways, let's see what we got here. I don't have any specific comments on this Uzumaki trailer other than ultimate mind F or ultimate mind buck for all these so-called chickens. Also, the sudden James Earl Jones passing announcement really shocked me. I'll have my own thing to say when that moment comes. Yeah, kind of, it really does say a lot when that reveal is a lot more shocking than anything we have seen in this trailer, just saying. Anyways, I think I'll read a couple of more comments and then we're going to go and move on to the next story. Let's see now. This is a major pass for me. I'm just not into horror as much as certain people. I'm breaking through the content adult, and I'm yet to reach the scarier content. Even, especially Tim Burton content. Also, call it as you like. I'd rather be fried up in a sesame glaze of lemon juice and seasoned with black pepper next to a plating of rice and beans. I'm delicious. Alright, dude. Anyways, speaking of Jay Monty, here he is. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie. A part of me doesn't have that much to say considering that I'm trying to process the recent news. But this series looks horrifying, and I could see how it can please fans of the manga. Also, if you excuse me, I have to go and get a clear pair of pants because I wet myself. Alright, but anyways, for those of you who are brave enough to go and check out Uzumaki, again, the series shall be coming out on Toonami on September 28th, so mark your calendars for that. Alright, so we're going to go on to our next story, so we'll have time to go and try to process everything that we have watched and everything we have heard about, rather it be this or the announcement. But when we do return, though, we're going to go into something that is much more lighthearted. We're going to have a detox from the scary and something that is much more fun. Yes, it will be something for preschoolers, but hey, at least it will be refreshing after the horrors that we have seen from Uzumaki. So stay tuned for that. Alright, welcome back. Now, I know what we just saw with Uzumaki. That was really creepy. In fact, I'm sure some of you have been a little too creeped out with what we have noticed. But, with what we have just watched. But, don't worry though, I actually do have a plan. Because I did organize this so that the last trailer that we will be watching for this episode, it will be something a lot more lighthearted, something that's a lot more fun, something that is at least a lot more pleasant to go and watch, and that, you know, you'll feel safe. Even though this is something that has some dinosaurs in it, these are technically some of the friendliest dinosaurs that you will meet. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out the teaser trailer for the upcoming preschool series, Barney's World.
This October, something big is coming to the Barney's World.
Oh, okay. Well,
2 years ago.
no, we don't need Joker.
This October.
You know, we don't. Oh my god, I feel like I keep getting interruptions again and again. First, the lady that's just randomly dancing, and then suddenly it just wants to jump immediately straight to Joker Funny Ender. Alright, but anyways, yes, folks, that was Barney's World. And we didn't just get a teaser trailer, by the way. We also got some new info that was revealed related to Barney's World, in which we actually do know the cast of who is going to be playing the characters such as Barney, Bebop, and Billy, along with the kids that will be joining his adventures. So, it is stated right over here, reading from my source on Variety, the one who will be playing Barney shall be Jonathan Langdon, who you may know from Zombies. And then you got Baby Bop, that's going to be played by Bryn McCauley, whom you probably know from the Hotel Transylvania series. Then afterwards, we also have Jonathan Tan, who's going to be playing as Billy, whom you may know Jonathan Tan from Rubble and Crew. As for the kids, we got Jade Desrochers, who's from Super Wise Comic Book Adventures, who will be playing as David. We got Diana Tsoi from Coco Melon Lane playing as Mel, and Ella Pakyoko, I think that's how you say her name, from Voice Star, that will be playing as Vivi. And on top of that, we even got a confirmation of when this is going to be coming out, as it states right here that this new right over here, reading from my source on Variety, by the way, this new series, which is comprised of 52 episodes running 11 minutes each, will debut October 14th on Max, followed by a linear premiere on Cartoon Network starting October 18th. So already everything is set for Barney. And there's even some extra things right over here in which they mentioned that apparently it also says here, the show also launches on Cartoonito in EMEA and APAC regions and Discovery Kids in LATAM. Per Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Mattel, select episodes of Barney's World will also be available on YouTube, where the series premiere will stream early on October 11th in select countries. So mid-October basically is when we are going to see Barney Mania with this again. Now, I have previously discussed about, oh great, are we going to have another, what the fridge is going on here? Another breaking news. Oh, okay, this one is not as bad. Apparently it states here that the director of Shang-Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton, is going to be directing Spider-Man 4, in which they're going to start filming it in early 2025. Okay, so at least there is that. But anyways, you know, at least this breaking news was a lot more pleasant to hear about than the previous one. But anyways, back to what I was talking about with Barney. Now, I have previously discussed about Barney before in this podcast. You may have remembered a while back in which there was I think it was a 2-part documentary about Barney and the cultural impact, and especially about the whole trend related to hating Barney. And honestly, it was a very fascinating documentary and a very interesting talk to discuss about the whole history of Barney, and especially that whole trend of like hating Barney, which I was unfortunately a part of when I was a kid. And nowadays, I will admit, I do feel bad about it. And, you know, I have respect for Barney, especially when I was a child myself. I used to watch Barney. But going back into this, I guess it was inevitable that Barney would go and have his own reboot, or that he would eventually make his comeback. I know there's been previously a lot of talks about it before. Like, beforehand, there was an idea of this adult Barney movie that Daniel Kaluuya wanted to go and make. You can correct me if I'm wrong in terms of that thing right there. But now, it looks like we are going to be getting a comeback of Barney, but this time around, it's pretty much in his roots. Like, now coming back as a preschool series, but also with a brand new look. And, okay, some people have mentioned I was correct. Okay, that's definitely fair. But there is one thing that I will say based on what we have seen so far with this series. Now that we do see the animation in action, now that we do see this Barney series coming to life, I do notice they've made quite a bit of creative changes when it comes to this. You know, I feel like they've done some interesting choices that definitely does differentiate itself from what we know from Barney in the past. Like, number one, I gotta say, it has to be the visuals. Like, so far with the designs specifically, honestly, I am not really used to this. Like, I know that previously we have seen what Barney looked like before, you know, like this feels like, you know, we already seen like what Mattel wanted to do with an animated Barney and give him a new design. But this time around, we are seeing a little bit more of a different look to Barney. That's kind of like the combination of the Barney we all know and love, and also Yoshi from the Mario games. And you get this combination of the two. And one thing that honestly, it throws me off so much, it's gotta be the eyes. I feel like they are much bigger than what they previously were. I don't know, like, yeah, it's one thing to go and like reshape a bit of the face where you make some of the features a lot more prominent, such as you know, such as the mouth, and even like having a face, you know, having a smile that's like so big that it even goes beyond like the regular circle that would be on Barney's head. But then you have the eyes. It's just, the eyes are way too big. And it's honestly a bit too unsettling, especially when before, let's just go and look at a regular picture of Barney the dinosaur, just to have a legit contrast. Like, when you look at the regular, when you look at the regular Barney right over here, the eyes are pretty small. Like, you know, like most of it is just black pupils, but it's not like in a creepy or intimidating way. Like, and it honestly looks fine. But then you got this, in which they obviously replace it with more cartoony eyes, and this honestly looks more intimidating. I don't know, there's just something about it that just feels uncomfortable and more in your face. It's like, hey kids, I don't know. This right over here, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm not sure if it's really because of the design itself, or if it's because I'm someone who's more used to this Barney. That I'm used to like the face being a lot more round, and that you see the eyes are much smaller with the pupils that are much bigger. I'm more used to that kind of Barney. I mean, it could be either way, but there's just something about this that I feel like, I don't know, you're making a change that I'm not really that cool. And it's honestly weird because it feels like it's exclusively a problem with Barney, because then you look at Baby Bop and you look at Billy, they look fine. They got an update as well, but they don't, it's not too drastic. They actually do look fine. I don't mind the update that they've done on them. It's just Barney, on the other hand, it honestly looks a bit weird. But then there's also another issue that I do have, and that Barney has some legs. Yeah, oh, that is true. yeah, that is true. When you do look at this Barney, like, yeah, that definitely looks more athletic in terms of his legs, in contrast to the stubby things that he has right now. And I just noticed for some reason, like, apparently there's this picture of Barney with the pride flag. I don't know, it just feels random where you see Barney coming in saying, Barney says LGBTQ plus rights. I mean, that's definitely cool, but I don't know, there's just something about this image that actually feels pretty funny. But anyways, another problem that I have with this new version of Barney is honestly his voice. Now, I have nothing against the voice actor. I have nothing against Jonathan Langdon doing the voice of him. It's just, I feel like the direction that they're going with this, it feels a lot more different. I mean, when you think about Barney's voice, it's definitely more iconic. Honestly, I when you think about Barney's voice, I forgot who the original actor is. The chat wall can go and fill that in for me. But the thing is with the gay rights, sorry. Sorry, I just looked at the chat wall and someone mentioned Barney supports gay rights. But anyways, as I was saying, like Bob West, thank you. Like, you think about Bob West's performance, and it is very iconic. Like, it is the kind that, when you think about Barney, or when you think about that voice, they are two of the same. They are very much connected with each other. You cannot think of Barney with a different voice, or you cannot think of this voice with something else. It is distinctively Barney. But then you look at what they're doing in here, and I can't help but feel like the voice that they gave to this Barney is as if some witch somehow has a grudge against Barney and decided to curse him, where for the rest of his life, he can only breathe and he can only communicate by yawning. Like, let's just have a quick listen.
Animated series.
I may not have ears, but right now, I'm all ears.
I don't know about you, doesn't it sound like he's always yawning? He's just there like, I may have two ears, but now I'm all ears. Don't worry though, I'm not tired. I just had my espresso this morning. I don't know, that honestly, it feels a bit off. That's not necessary. Yeah, some people are even mentioning that it somehow sounds like Grimace, or someone mentioned like a goofier Bullwinkle. I don't know. They're like, the performance itself and what the actor is doing is not necessarily bad per se. Yeah, some people are even mentioning that it sounds like Uncle Grandpa. But like, the performance itself, I'm not against. It's just the decision that voice in particular to do Barney, I don't know. I just feel like it sounds a little bit off right there. However, with all that said though, with everything that I've mentioned, with my criticisms with Barney and what they're doing with Barney's world, I honestly feel like there is a legitimate chance that this could actually go pretty well with kids. I mean, let's just say this right now. At the end of the day, the people who will determine its success it's going to be children. It's specifically going to be preschoolers. It doesn't matter what adults will think or what older audiences will think about Barney's World. Ultimately, it is made for preschoolers, and it's going to be preschoolers who will decide if it is actually worth watching or not. And ultimately, with what they want to do with Barney's World is try to go and make a series for that new generation specifically. So yeah, I'll have my criticisms and I'll say that this is not the Barney that I grew up with, but it doesn't matter because this is not my Barney. This is the Barney for the new generation. And I actually do have an example that some people might be very upset with me to go and bring up, but ultimately, this is honestly a bit of a fact, but it's a little bit like the Thomas the Tank Engine reboot. What's it called again? All Engines Go. It's very much like that. I know for a fact that when it comes to older Thomas fans or adult Thomas fans who grew up with the show and stuff like that, they hate that series with an absolute passion. However, that series is not made for them. It is actually made for the new generation, and they're the ones who would go and consume it. And because of that, the show is actually still pretty popular. It's still going on today. Like, it definitely has its audience. It found its audience, it has its audience, and its audience is enjoying it. It's just that that audience is not the adult audience. So I feel like, honestly, worst case scenario for this might be another case of Thomas All Engines Go, where it's not going to please the adult fans out there, but for the new generation, I think they could be down with it. Like, yeah, sure, Barney is, yeah, like, even if Barney is not recognizable for older audiences, I feel like the series with what they have presented in the teaser trailer, it's giving me similar vibes to something like Muppet Babies, you know, where you would have like these little musical numbers. The animation kind of feels similar as well. And even the whole concept of using your imagination to go and play and learn and have fun and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, sure, the OG Barney is very, you know, like, it would teach kids that as well. But especially with what they would show in this teaser trailer, it has that similar kind of vibe to Muppet Babies. So I could actually see this working out pretty well in his favor. So overall, if you guys are interested in checking out Barney's World, or if you have kids who want to watch Barney's World, then keep in mind that it will be making its premiere on Max on October 14th, as well as having its TV premiere on Cartoon Network on October 18th. So with that said, now I would like to go onto the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you all think about Barney's World? Even though we're all much older than the target demographic for Barney's World, I would like to know what you all think, if you enjoyed what they shown in the teaser trailer or not, or if you have any criticisms, let me know what you think. All right, let's see here. Fun fact, the voice of Barney is the black guy from Trap, made by M. Night Shyamalan, which actually shocked me out of all the people that they go with. I wish him luck in voicing Barney. And also, hey everyone, it is KS19. I'm only here briefly to talk about the last story upon hearing this breaking news today, so I'll be sticking around for the last one. It's rather personal for me. Well, nice to see you back so soon, but I can understand why you want to return and actually discuss about that. Anyways, while I never really grew up with Barney myself, considering I mostly grew up with the preschool shows from Nick Jr., and while it doesn't look that appealing to me, I do think this will please a younger audience, and it will appeal to kids. So we'll see, although in terms of great preschool shows, nothing will top Bluey. Oh yeah, honestly, there's no point in mentioning Bluey because I don't think we're going to get another Bluey for like a long time. Bluey set its own new standard where it's next to unreachable for any other preschool show. So I'm just saying, don't come in expecting this thing to be like the next Bluey, okay? Like, it's just trying to be its own reboot of Barney. So if it's able to go and achieve that, then it'll do fine. Let's see what else we got here. Well, I'm not the target audience for Barney, so I shouldn't complain, but it still feels weird to see Barney as an animated character. My older sister is your age and was a Barney girl, and I remember watching certain tapes as well. So yeah, this is fine. It's a harmless thing. I'm not gonna go and be upset or freak out. Hopefully the kids will enjoy it. I know I'm going to avoid people whining about wokeness or what. This is just a show that exists. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's when you know that there's going to be a brand new low, when you see those weirdos who complain about woke culture will suddenly go after freaking Barney's World or whatever. Like, that's when you know when anti-woke culture wars would go and reach a new low, when they're starting to attack preschool shows like Barney's World. I mean, hopefully they haven't attacked that preschool Star Wars series, so hopefully they'll also leave Barney's World alone. Anyways, I mean, that was definitely Barney's World. While I did like Jonathan Langdon in Trap and, I don't know, Zombies, I don't know all his works, but his Barney voice is a little weird. But at least he's better than the guy who runs the tantric sex business. Look it up. Oh, I think I know what you mean there. Not Bob West, but I think you mean the guy who dresses up like Barney. I'm not going to watch it since I'm 21, but if it makes the kids happy, I can't complain. Also, I love how one of Barney's friends was renamed to Billy, since his original name was BJ. You could probably guess why that name wasn't going to fly. Oh my god, I just realized now that is true. Like, oh my god, the yellow dinosaur's name was originally BJ. Yeah, I can imagine how nowadays this would fly. I mean, you don't want to think about Barney and BJ at the same time. Like, those two, it is true that nowadays those two names should not exist together. That definitely is a good point right there. All right. The second coming of Barney has arrived. Speaking of BJ. Praise the almighty Lord and Savior, Barney the Purple Dinosaur. He will save us from our sins. In all seriousness, I'm sure the kids will love this Barney so much. Yes, it's definitely not for me, but yeah, let the kids enjoy it, guys. Also, did they change BJ's name? That's the only disappointment about this. Overall, this looks 100% harmless. Exactly. Like, even with all the complaints, even with all the criticisms, that's why I'm not too upset about it, because, I mean, it's not just the fact that it's not made for me, but, like, with what it's doing, it is very much harmless. It looks fine. You know, it's kind of like the same reason why I don't mind Thomas All Engines Go. Even if I'm not someone who's, like, a Thomas fan, I can see that what it's doing as its own thing, it looks harmless. You know, it's not going out of its way to, like, be all cynical and insult the fans or anything like that. You know, it's doing its own thing, and the children love it. So, I mean, there's no harm in that series either, no matter how angry the Thomas fans would get with that show. Anyways, I used to watch Barney as a kid and used to own some VHS tapes. Or maybe it was just one. But this feels a bit off. Barney's voice sounds like a combination of Grimace and Bullwinkle. I've grown out of Barney when I was in my early teens, and this, I felt like I should step back from it. The kids look fine, but the dinosaurs and Barney are just poor. So I would rather stick with Bluey than this. If any of you haven't watched Bluey, watch it. It's so good. Bandit Healer, best dad ever. Of course. All right, I think I'll read a couple more comments and then we'll go and move on to the next story, or the next break, if you will. Okay, here's the thing. I already established that I'm a Barney fan, and I will always cherish him always, as I know. I have some very off-branded questions about the series myself. Like, I think it's more drastic that they changed the iconic I Love You song, or that Baby Bop and Billy aren't wearing any shoes. However, I am not upset about it a little, but I am so happy that he's back and that he truly deserves it. Also, all I can wish, though, I hope no kids will face that insult, the insults as I have. It hurts, but always forgive. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I don't think this is going to be the kind where people are going to rally up just to unnecessarily throw their hate, you know? All right, let's see what we got here. Say what you will about the original costume of Barney, but to me, I'm used to it, and he is very iconic growing up. The new Barney, on the other hand, sorry, I don't think so. No offense, but, no offense to his new voice actor, but his new voice sounds like Grimace, and the CG, look of him is just, looks more like baloney from Animaniacs than the actual Barney. I'm sure young kids will enjoy this, but for me, I'll just stick with the original Barney I grew up with. Yeah, exactly. I mean, oh, actually, there's one quick thing. Fun fact. Hold on. Ryan Walterson just wrote something here. Fun fact: the new voice of Baby Bop in here is Bryn McCauley, the longtime Canadian voice actress since a child, and most notably the original voice of Caillou. Really? Oh, that is interesting. You know, it's kind of funny to see that now her career has gone full circle, and now she is back doing a preschool show, now playing as a different iconic character. So good on Bryn for that. All right, but anyways, we're going to go on to our next break right now, and when we will come back, we're going to have a little bit of an interesting discussion where I know many people nowadays are not big fans of celebrities doing voices in animated films, but what about celebrities producing animated films? We'll get into that topic after our next break. All right, welcome back. Now, on our next story, I just want to mention that I do feel like there is a little bit of a relief that these major animation studios are not fully giving up on original animated features, or that they would go and create new IPs, not even stuff that would be based on like children's books or anything like that. And the fact that that is still happening, you know, that honestly feels very nice, and it makes me feel hopeful that we will see more new creative ideas that are going to be coming out. You know, like we don't have to just depend on independent studios and independent artists to go and give us something new and something completely different instead of like sequels, spin-offs, and all that kind of stuff. Even Disney and Pixar, they're still making original stuff. Like Pixar, next year they got Elio, and then the year after that they got Hoppers. Even Disney Animation said that in 2026 there's going to be a new original animated feature. But when it comes to this one right over here, I can't help but feel like I have my doubts. Especially when this is going to be from Mindy Kaling. Now, I'm just going to go and state this right now. We do not necessarily have any new information or a lot of information for that matter of what's going to be going on with this project. At the most, the only thing that we do know is the fact that Mindy Kaling is going to be teaming up with Paramount Animation in order to produce a new original animated comedy in which she will be producing alongside Jay Brown and Tai Smith. Now, the only piece of info that we really do know is this little piece right over here, reading from my source on Animation Magazine, as it states here, the Untitled project will take audiences to a world with a wish fulfillment message that is comedic and heartfelt. The script is by Atil Chaturvedi, I hope I say his name correctly, and Justin Soul. Sean Wong, director of animation development, is overseeing the project for Paramount Animation. So that's pretty much all that we know so far. And the rest of the article over here, it mostly just talks about like a quick summary about Mindy Kaling's career as a writer, producer, and as an actress. Even some of her animated works where she voiced Disgust in the first Inside Out, and also playing as Val in Monsters at Work, as well as being the executive producer of the highly hated Velma series. So that's pretty much all that we know so far, is that apparently Mindy Kaling is at Paramount Animation producing an original animated comedy that has a wish fulfillment message, and that's pretty much it. Now, like I mentioned at the start, I am all for more original animated concepts. I would much rather see that animation studios, especially major animation studios, that they would still go and produce some new stuff instead of just rehashing franchises that they've already made to go and keep on making sequels again and again and again and again. I definitely, at least exercise your creativity more than just bring out some sequel that nobody would really go and ask for. Especially nowadays, when you see DreamWorks Animation, for example, I think it's safe to say there's a lot more hype over something like The Wild Robot when compared to Kung Fu Panda 4. Especially when The Wild Robot, even though it is based on a novel, it is technically a new IP from DreamWorks Animation. And at least, making something that is fully original, it is something that feels like it is looking forward to try out and to see something new, something different, something that holds promise that we would never see, that we have never seen this kind of thing before. But when it comes to Paramount Animation, on the other hand, honestly, I feel like I cannot really trust it when it comes to them making brand new IPs. Because so far, anything original that they would go and bring out, it has been very underwhelming. In fact, I would say at best, it is generally underwhelming. And from there, they have definitely put out some strong stuff. I mean, a Sponge on the Run, honestly, it was just okay. But then you also got TMNT Mutant Mayhem, which was just absolutely awesome. But then you got their original works, and honestly, they are not impressive whatsoever. Even if the animation is great, the rest of it is so forgettable, or in some cases forgettable at best. You got Wonder Park, and then you also got Rumble, and even just recently, earlier this year, you got The Tiger's Apprentice. Probably the best original movie that they put out that is not based on any Nickelodeon property whatsoever is Under the Boardwalk. And even that thing, they tried to really bury it, to make sure that nobody ever notices it, especially with the casting of Russell Brand, and just fresh out of the controversy that he had when he was called out for his history of sexual harassment and maybe even some sexual assault. Allegations for sure, but the people who have accused him, they put in some credible evidence to go and prove their point. But just to go and say that, even though I want to see more original films be created by studios, when it comes to Paramount, honestly, it doesn't give me confidence to know that what they would go and produce, it would be good. But then on top of that, you also got this as well. The fact that it is from Mindy Kaling. And I mean, the fact that it is an original series, or not an original series, but the fact that this is an original movie, that would mean that technically the main hook would be the fact that it's from Mindy Kaling. And that is an aspect that, for me, I feel like it is very questionable. This is the best that you got? Is that going to be the best thing you'll have for the promotional material? It's the fact that you got Mindy Kaling, who's going to be producing this feature. I don't know. Is this even a good idea? Especially last time that she would go and produce an animated project, she would go and create Velma, and the internet was just obsessively hating over it. For every aspect that they would go and present, all they got, all that series got was just hate, 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 hate. So honestly, I cannot imagine that if you would bring in Mindy Kaling to go and be your main aspect to go and prominently display, to go and prominently promote, honestly, it would just be weird to imagine that down the line, we would go see a teaser trailer, and the main thing that they would go and promote is to say that this is brought to us by Mindy Kaling. They would do that terrible Spellbound trailer, but instead of desperately highlighting John Lasseter, they would go and try to highlight Mindy Kaling. And that is honestly one thing that I feel like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the selling point you hope that it would be. I don't know if the Mindy Kaling name alone is going to be big and prominent enough to go and actually sell a movie. And there is also one more thing that I want to add. There is something that I can't help but feel like is more of a detractor for me, and that is the concept where apparently it's going to be set in a world with a wish fulfillment message. And I'm not gonna lie, but I can't help but feel like I feel like we've already gotten wished out. You know, I feel like nowadays we've gotten so many different animation projects that are related to wishes that honestly, I think we need a break from it. You know, like we already got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which that movie was just absolutely awesome and one of the best movies that DreamWorks Animation has put out in recent years. Like I would even go as far and say that it is so far the best movie that DreamWorks put out this decade. Then we got Disney's Wish, which I personally highly enjoyed. I mean, I am aware it's not Disney's best work that they have made, but I think it is still charming and a fun movie to watch. Like, I think it definitely is a fun time. And then you also got Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish, which honestly, I was surprised to find that apparently it has quite the following, and apparently it was a reboot that actually did work, where after so many tries of trying to bring back Fairly Odd Parents after the series, like just the original series, just run dry, now they got this brand new series and it actually worked out. It actually resonated very well with fans. So we already got these like really, you know, these enjoyable Wish animated projects. I don't know if we really need any more animated projects that are related to wishes. And especially in this case over here, I feel like this one is going to come in way too late. It's going to be at the point where people are just going to be tired and they want to move on to any animated projects that are related to wishes. And especially one that's going to be brought to us by Mindy Kaling. I don't know, man. It's just, it's going to really have to try to convince us that it is worthwhile. I mean, I'm sure there is a likelihood that Paramount is going to do their best in order to go and try to really display this as something that could be very much worthwhile. But honestly, from so far from what we have gotten, that this is a wish fulfillment movie starring Mindy Kaling that's going to be made by Paramount Animation, it's hard to imagine right now that it's going to be a good movie or if it's going to be something that will be worthwhile. And this is not even to mention the fact that this is from Paramount and pretty soon the whole company is going to be under new management, especially after the whole Skydance deal. So I don't know how things are really going to change up, especially with what's going to be happening with the animation division. Especially, I know that with the Ellisons, they got some big plans with how they want to go and try to change things up with their animation division. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of with Paramount Animation or with Nickelodeon or with anything like that, or how they're going to go and try to cram in Skydance Animation onto their stuff. But I don't know. I feel like chances are maybe this thing could actually be short-lived and we might not see it anytime soon. But I don't know. It's just so far, there's just so many red flags with this project that, you know, I feel like it's going to have to really try to convince me that this could be worth checking out. So I just figured I want to go and express my thoughts onto this, especially have a little discussion with the fact that we got a celebrity who now wants to go and produce an animated feature, and this time being freaking Mindy Kaling. There's just so much of it. It just feels very much off, and there's just nothing about it that feels artistically genuine about it. So yeah, I honestly, for now, I'm gonna say that this looks like something that's just dead on arrival. Alright, so with that said, now I would like to go onto the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you all think about the Mindy Kaling animated movie? What do you feel like, how do you feel about this project in particular? Do you guys think that there might be a chance it'll be good? Do you think it's already hopeless? Let me know what you all think. All right, there we go. Now we got some comments over here. Let's see. At face value, I have no objections to celebrities doing cartoon voices or producing their own cartoons or anything else. If they are passionate enough about it and have the know-how to do it. For example, I just recently brought a picture book by Matthew McConaughey called Just Because to my year-old nephew. One objection I do have to it is celebrities use these as ego trips rather than passion projects. And with someone like Mindy Kaling, it sounds like it's most likely the former. Yeah, I do understand what you mean, that, that this could be something that, it might be similar to Velma, that it's just going to be something that Mindy Kaling is just going to use in order to go and boost her own ego, more so than it is to create some animated project, something that is filled with heart. Even though it promises that it's going to be comedic and heartfelt and stuff like that, it's hard to imagine something that Mindy Kaling would make that is honestly heartfelt or nowadays even comedic. All right, let's see now. I really don't like this idea, not only because it's coming from Paramount and they haven't had the best reputation with their animated films, and not to mention Mindy Kaling not having a good reputation, especially after Velma. I really don't like this. Also, am I the only one who thought the hate of Velma got out of hand? Don't get me wrong, it was bad, but it went out of control. Oh yeah, honestly, like the whole, yeah, I've already mentioned this before, but when it comes to Velma, I feel like in that case that, honestly, I'm not gonna, like, I haven't seen the series myself, so I cannot judge it on its on what it did or anything like that, but, rather if it's bad or not, that's fine, but it's just the internet's reaction. They went a little too, yeah, it was like overwhelming, honestly. It's the kind of thing that, like, the whole trend of like hating it was so strong that it honestly put me off more than the Velma series itself. So yeah, I do agree. That was a situation where it felt like it went a little too out of control. Let's see now. Honest to God, this has my thoughts on a compass with an unstable arrow. Like, it can be good, it can be bad, but I can't really decide on how this will turn out to be. Like, maybe for me, it'll be interesting to know what it'll come as to be when it comes to wishing. On the other hand, considering her early works, I don't think it may turn out as well as she would present on the account of Velma. If I have a clear idea, we'll see about it because I really don't know. Exactly, man. And I mean, there are times when you would have celebrities coming in and they would go and produce some animated projects and it could legitimately work out. And a great example is Seth Rogen, especially with films such as Sausage Party and Mutant Mayhem. But then you would have someone like Mindy Kaling, and that's when the questions would go and arise. I think the big question is how is Mindy Kaling going to pick herself up after the reactions that she has received for Velma? Anyways, what else do we have here? Or let's see, what other comments would there be? Honestly, I feel like it's interesting to have celebrities wanting to make animation projects via producing. Maybe I'm overtly hopeful, but I think it could show these celebrities like animation and see its value beyond a voiceover paycheck. Mindy Kaling, I don't have an opinion on her as a person. She has a good, if replaceable, voice. The story being about wish fulfillment actually sounds interesting to me. Wish fulfillment is a coping mechanism, but they can have a negative influence onto others. Yeah, I mean, there is a chance that it could turn out to be good. I am not denying that whatsoever. It's just that there are these factors that feel like the odds are just so stacked against it. I'm not saying it's impossible to think that it's going to turn out good. I just think that it's very hard to think that it'll turn out good. There is a big difference. Let's see, what other comments would there be? If Velma taught me anything, is that you should really look closer when it's made by celebrities. Mindy Kaling can be a bit of a hypocrite, especially with the response to Velma. The only thing I can hope for is how this could go. But as Deadpool said, it's an educated wish. Exactly. I think that's the best thing that we are all doing so far here. It's the fact that we're just making an educated wish upon what's going to be happening with this potential movie. All right, I think I'll read one more comment and then we'll go on to our final break. I'm happy that we're getting more original animated films from the main studio, but for Paramount, I don't know. Not sure how to feel about their new film, but the new wish fulfillment movie sounds like I already watched it before. Plus, having Mindy Kaling on board, sorry. Let's just say that public relations has been very much soured in recent years, especially thanks to Velma. Oh boy, you wouldn't believe the hate that show got on Twitter. It's absolutely bonkers. Oh, I know. I've been like, I remember during that time, like, I tried to avoid it because, like I said before, it was just so overwhelming. All right, but anyways, we're going to go on to one more break. And when we do return, we will be talking about the breaking news that did occur. I had an original idea. Originally, I was thinking about talking about how Larry Ellison, the father of David Ellison, is now going to technically be the new owner of Paramount and stuff like that. But instead, we're going to be focusing on the main breaking news, especially when this is something that is very much important and, as you could probably tell, has impacted millions of lives through his performance. So stay tuned for that. All right, it is now time that we will go and end this episode off with the grand finale. And this was a last minute change up that I had to do. I mean, if you've been watching the entire episode, then you have just seen that, like, right on the spot, I had to go and make a last minute decision of like, okay, I gotta go and talk about this. Like, it was just breaking as I was making this entire episode. And also, I just want to do a quick apology at the beginning that I haven't done as much research. I didn't fully have time to do so, especially because of the fact that, I mean, again, it was literally breaking news as I was recording and as I was doing this episode in particular. So this is something that is like literally fresh. This is still like brand new, and like we have just learned about what has happened. And what I am talking about, of course, is James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones has been revealed to have passed away today at the age of 93. This actually occurred this morning at his home in Dutchess County, New York. Now, for those of you who don't know, James Earl Jones is the legendary actor who has done many iconic performances. Of course, possibly his biggest one that he has done is the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars franchise, and has done so in several Star Wars movies, in fact, not just in the original trilogy, but he also reprised it in, he reprised it in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and also in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. And on top of that, he has also done several other features in which he made his debut in Doctor Strangelove, or How I've Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. He was also in Field of Dreams, and just checking on my list here on Deadline, he has also done several others such as Conan the Barbarian, Coming to America, The Hunt for Red October, The Sandlot, Patriot Games, and Sneakers, as well as providing his voice in The Simpsons 3 times, and probably his most iconic role in animation is playing as Mufasa in The Lion King, both in the original 1994 animated feature and in the 2019 remake. And may I just say that when it comes to James Earl Jones, there is no one out there who has a voice that is as powerful as his. I think that's the best way to go and describe it, is that the thing that is very memorable about James Earl Jones is just that voice, that it has that specific tone that feels like it is coming from a leader. And that's why you see, like, when James Earl Jones would appear, that usually he would have these roles that are related to royalty, or that he's the one that would be in charge. Rather it be in a more villainous way, such as playing as Darth Vader in Star Wars, or if he would play as Mufasa, as a role that is more noble. Like, he has that kind of voice that when you hear it, like, it's the kind that you gotta give it respect. You know, it has that kind of tone that, like, you know, you want to go and try to honor it no matter what. But then again, with James Earl Jones, like, the performances that he would do, it's not just like those types of leaders, rather it be being good as Mufasa or as bad as Darth Vader. And I mean, like, in terms of, like, you know, the good and evil kind of thing, not like, oh, this is awesome or this sucks. But also, there have been other performances where he has been fantastic. And one great example is actually Field of Dreams. And that was one that, honestly, I feel like it is very interesting, but it's a great example of the kind of acting that he would do. I think it's like one of the great examples of him as an actor, because like he wasn't like some prominent leader. He wasn't like the kind of guy, you know, who would like really like be larger than life or anything like that. He would just be like this simple, humble guy whom, like, beforehand was this writer, but then was disillusioned. But then later on, with the help of the main character, he would go and like learn more and more about the, you know, like the dream or like the experience that the main character is facing, and then suddenly kind of reverts back into like what he used to be known for when he was a writer. So from there, but from there, with the kind of performance that he would go and bring out, like, that's where you would go and like, yeah, you would like immediately want to go and give that respect to James Earl Jones, but this time as an actor, in terms of the performance that he would go and bring out, like the level of professionalism that he would go and give, like, it's very much admirable. In some ways, some people would even say that he's like an actor's actor. You know, he would be the kind that, you know, like actors aspire to be that guy. And I mean, like, of course, like I can imagine I see some people have mentioned, like, is Field of Dreams worth watching? Absolutely. I think it is a movie that is worth checking out at least once, especially when Field of Dreams is actually a pretty iconic movie in itself. I mean, like, if you've heard the quote of "If you build it, they will come," it actually came from that. So yeah, I highly recommend you go and check it out, and especially to go and honor James Earl Jones, I highly recommend you go and see that. But of course, I mean, we're all animation fans, and if we are actually, you know what? Here, let me just go and here, we might as well go and like double check on his filmography, because like I was about to say like we'll talk about Mufasa, but there have been some other animated roles that he was in as well. So just to go and double check on like the filmography, yeah, oh boy. Like apparently like his filmography, like the work that he has done actually has its own Wikipedia page. Like, this is James Earl Jones stage and screen, and there's like so much that he has done. So yeah, like in terms of the voice, yeah, he did Darth Vader, of course. He was also the titular Emperor of the Night in Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night. He was also the narrator of Freddy as Froz. He was, yeah, then right over here you got like he was the voice of Mufasa. There was also another I don't know if they listed here, but I remember where would it be? Yeah, okay, there we go. Like, he was also, like, this is another, like, Darth Vader type role that he did. He was also the voice of Omadon in Flight of Dragons, and his like, I'm not a big fan of Flight of Dragons, admittedly, but I gotta say, his performance as Omadon is definitely one of the true highlights of that film. Like, you definitely do get those Darth Vader vibes. Some of the other roles, like, just want to see other voiceover roles he did. Apparently he did the voice of Kibosh in Casper, A Spirited Beginning. Let's see. He also reprised his role as Mufasa in The Lion King 2, where he said, "We are one." Let's see. He also did, he was the voice of Martin Luther King in Our Friend Martin. Let's see. Is there any others that he did? He did a voice box in Robots. Let's see. More Darth Vader. He was apparently in a Jack and the Beanstalk movie in 2009. He also did, what the fridge is this? Quantum Quest, a Cassini Space Odyssey, apparently is an animated educational documentary in which he was the voice of the professor. Yeah, that's pretty much what he has done so far. And with his final performance officially being Coming to America. Has he done, actually, there's also some animated, I want to see if he's also done some voices. He was in Garfield and Friends as Diablo, interestingly enough. Okay. Oh wow, Garfield and Friends has a James Earl Jones appearance. Dang. All right. He was also in something called Happily Ever After: Fairy Tales for Every Child as King Dakar from the episode The Valiant Little Tailor. Let's see. He was in a Merlin series. He voiced Santa in Recess. Okay, interesting. Let's see. He voiced a toilet in According to Jim. And he was also the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars Rebels. I wonder if he's also done... let's see. I want to see what he has done in terms of theater, because he's also a prominent theater actor, and it's part of the reason why he was it was part of the reason, like, how he got his EGOT. So he got an Emmy, an Oscar, a Grammy, and a Tony Award. So, like, yeah, he's done, like, he played as Othello in Othello. He was the Prince of Morocco in The Merchant of Venice. My God, like, he was King Lear. He was Lenny in Of Mice and Men. Then you got, he played Hoke Colburn in Driving Miss Daisy. He was Big Daddy in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He's definitely done quite a bit. Oh, and he even interestingly enough, he even did Mufasa in a Lion King game. And it's archived. It's not technically, like, he didn't do voices he didn't do voices in Kingdom Hearts 2, but they used, like, his archived footage. Okay, I see. But as you could see here, like, he has done so many different voices, more so than just, like, Darth Vader and Mufasa. But, like, you could see, like this is just an example of all of the entire talent that he has done, like, doing so many things, like, whether it be as a narrator, he's done it all, from stage to screen to television to movies to doing narration to doing characters to being on camera to being in front of the mic. Like, this dude has done it all. This really is what I mean when I say that this guy is an actor's actor. And for me, if I gotta go and pick my favorite performance from James Earl Jones, honestly, I gotta go with Mufasa. Like, the role that he did with Mufasa is just very unforgettable. Like, it's very much like you take the power of Darth Vader, but you turn it into good. Like, that's the best way to put it as to put it as Mufasa. It's it's very much like a good Darth Vader. Like, it has that powerful aura that this is a leader that you should respect, but this is a guy who earns that respect, the kind that, like, you gotta go and respect it. And I mean, like, who could forget possibly one of the best moments from The Lion King, or probably one of the best moments from any animated film in general? It's gotta be the scene where Simba is technically reunited with Mufasa, but through the clouds. You know, when Mufasa wants to go and give Simba that speech to go and to say, remember who you are. In fact, why don't we go and actually look for that clip. Here, just to like have a bit of a reminder. Okay, yeah, there you are. Okay, so just have just as a quick reminder of like this scene in particular, so that we could go and have something to honor and to give a fresh example of his performance right over here. So here, let's just skip that and let's go right over here. So let's just have a watch on this scene from The Lion King.
He lives in you.
Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become.
Man, even just watching it, I've seen that thing so many times, and yet that scene still gives me chills. But it's a great example of the kind of performance that he would go and do. This is this is very much how I would remember James Earl Jones, the kind of powerful voice, the kind that you must listen and you know that whatever he would say would give great, he would go and give great wisdom, not just because of the voice itself, but also through the performance. And that is how he would go and be, this is the way that he's gonna be remembered. It's just with stuff like this. And I mean, yeah, sure, he tried to do the same thing with the 2019 film, but I this might be a bit of a hot take, but honestly, yeah, they should have cast someone else instead of James Earl Jones, because even on that film, you could tell that the dude was really getting old, and that with his voice, he sounded more like Simba's great grandfather more so than Simba's actual dad. He's like, Simba, you must take your place in the great circle of life. And I can imagine, the scene where Scar was about to throw Mufasa down the wildebeest. I can imagine he just accepted. It's like, you know what, screw it, I'm too old for this crap. But yeah, still though, honestly, they should have gotten someone else, because you could tell that, yeah, at that point, James Earl Jones's age was really getting to him. But still, though, with stuff like the original Lion King, it's just, it is great. It is great, and it is so unforgettable. And I mean, just looking back overall with James Earl Jones, I mean, I think it's safe to say that it is very tragic, especially right now, just hearing about it. But I mean, the dude lived a full life. He passed away at the age of 93. And that is quite an epic feat, may I add. He deserves to live that full life. And he absolutely lived it to the fullest to go and become one of the most unforgettable and one of the most respected actors in the business. In history in general. So I must say that with James Earl Jones, I know with this whole thing, it was admittedly it's all very impromptu, it's all last minute, and even as I'm doing this, I'm still registering the fact that this officially happened. But may I just say that with I hope with this whole segment that this could help give a little bit of an example of the legacy that James Earl Jones has put out. And regardless of what it may be, whether it be through his performance on stage, through his voice, through his acting on camera for television or for movies or for whatever, or rather it be playing iconic roles like Mufasa or Darth Vader. Honestly, I think this is one of those cases where this guy has at least one performance that people will never forget. So honestly, may James Earl Jones rest in peace, and may his legacy be forever remembered as the kind of acting career that all actors aspire to have, even for myself, honestly. Like, yeah, I'm mainly going for, like, for me personally, yeah, I mainly want to go for being a voice actor, but if I can have the kind of career that James Earl Jones has, honestly, I would be happy. Honestly, I would be honored to even be close to the level of where James Earl Jones is. Honestly. All right, so with that said, now I would like to go and pass this on to the chat wall, and I'd like to know, what do you all think about the recent news, and also share your favorite memory related to a James Earl Jones performance. Like, what's your favorite role from him? What's your favorite project that he was involved? Let me know what you think. Let's see. Considering this news broke during the podcast, I'm still trying to process it, but it truly is shocking and tragic. James Earl Jones truly was a legend, rather it be with his performance as Mufasa, or the fact that he helped create one of the greatest and most iconic movie villains of all time with Darth Vader. So overall, he will absolutely be missed. And I'm really hoping Disney will pay tribute to him at the end of this year in Mufasa, The Lion King. Oh, absolutely. I think, like, safe to say, either at the very beginning of the movie or straight afterwards before the credits start, they gotta mention James Earl Jones, especially when it's a movie that the title character is his character that he helped create. I think that's like a mandatory thing that you gotta do. If there's one, like, say what you will about the Mufasa movie, but it must have a little tribute to James Earl Jones. That's the one thing that I ask you gotta get right on Disney, okay? You can make the movie as crappy as you want, but you gotta at least have one moment where you pay respects to James Earl Jones. That's the one thing you must objectively have right, okay? That's all I ask. Oh, let's see what else we got. I just can't believe this happened, and he's now gone forever. James Earl Jones had one of the most iconic voices of all time. He will always be remembered as both Darth Vader and Mufasa. Props for him for doing his voice as long as he can until the Obi-Wan series. I actually went to his Disney Legends ceremony back in 2019. Sadly, he didn't show up for it, but I'm glad to see him getting this honor. I'm sure he was pretty chill dude, and he will definitely be missed for sure. Yeah, for the stories I've heard with James Earl Jones, like, I don't think there's been much stories that they would say that he's like a really stingy douchebag or anything like that. Like, from what I've heard about James Earl Jones as a person, he's generally a chill guy. Let's see. This breaking news of James Earl Jones passing is what brought me back to this episode, only as I was shocked to hear this heartbreaking news. I loved him as Darth Vader and Mufasa in Star Wars and The Lion King as a kid. I even enjoyed him in other movies he was in as I got older, like Doctor Strangelove, Coming to America, The Sandlot, and The Hunt for Red October, for example. He's a legendary actor that I'm going to miss, and may the king rest in peace. Oh yeah, I think it is safe to say that with all the different roles that he got, I think it is fair to call him a king. Because honestly, in terms of entertainment, he is absolutely a king. Let's see what else we got here. Mufasa will always be my favorite animated dad and role from James Earl Jones. And even though I don't think his performance in the remake will match up, I still have nothing but respect for him. I don't know if the Mufasa movie is going to outgross Inside Out 2. No, definitely not. I mean, it'll most likely be a hit, but I doubt it will be Inside Out 2 levels of success. But I'm sure that a lot of people will see it to pay their respects to him. I don't have any plans to, because I already paid my own respects to him, in a way, by seeing the original classic on the big screen for its 30th anniversary. Nice. Anyways, what else we got here? First, Bob Newhart, and now James Earl Jones. At least like how Bernard reunited with Bianca in heaven, Mufasa will do the same with his wife Sarabi, and Simba has my deepest sympathy. As for me, while reluctant to do this, I will go and watch and review Mufasa to respect this legendary actor. Long live the king. Yeah, I think this is one of those moments where we can honestly say, long live the king. Let's see what else we have here. James Earl Jones has a magnificent voice of a man. While Star Wars fans will remember him as Darth Vader, animation fans will remember him as Mufasa, Lion Daddy. Okay, that's honestly the weirdest nickname you could give to Mufasa. I've never heard someone call him frickin' Lion Daddy. I don't know which hurts more, Richard Sherman or James Earl Jones. Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, because I'm a major Disney fan, I'm still gonna go with Richard Sherman. But I will say with James Earl Jones, yeah, this one is pretty close. Let's see now. I'm very heartbroken when the news broke out. We lost the voice of Darth Vader and especially Mufasa, the latter of whom I considered to be the best father figure in a Disney film. No doubt he is amazing in The Lion King. I honestly truly feel like young Simba when he encountered Mufasa's death. It's truly devastating. Thank you so much, James Earl Jones, for the amazing performance you brought to our lives. You were our king in the film we watched. Long live the king. Yeah, let's see what else we have. A sad, sad day for the galaxy far, far away. Whoever it was that found this news must have sensed this great disturbance in the force, so to say. First we lost a droid, then we lost a Wookiee, and then we lost a princess. Now we lost a Sith. What is next? A bounty hunter? Well, it looks like he's now one with the Force, and it's one of those great kings, looking down on us from those stars. Fare thee well, great one. May the Force be with you. Lisa, hey, we gotta have at least one Star Wars tribute there. I just found this at the same time as you did, and I can't help but be devastated. James Earl Jones couldn't be, if not the greatest actor on account of film, television, etc. Rather it be Mufasa, both animated or live action, and all the roles of Darth Vader in Star Wars. Even at one point, I wish he would do a full movie on Darth Vader. It'll never be the same without his performance and his iconic tone, voice, especially he truly does sound like a leader. We look up to the stars for you, Jones. May the Force be with you. We will always remember. Yeah, and I think with that said, that should pretty much do it for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. I do apologize that we would go and end off on this little somber tone, but we must have a moment where we got to pay our respects to James Earl Jones. But hopefully by the next episode, things will go and pick up and we'll have a lot more fun. So with that said, I would like to say thank you all so much for joining me on this episode. And if you would like to go and follow for more episodes of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, then don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the AniMat Live Twitch channel. And at the same time, if you are listening to this on whatever podcast service you're listening to, then don't forget to go and follow me there, whether it be on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and stuff. Oh boy. I had too much saliva that's just like interrupting me talking. But anyways, you get what I mean. Whatever podcast service you're listening to, don't forget to go and follow me there. And with that said and done, I would like to say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.